record myself. I always like to watch myself and see how I do. It's part of the neuroses in me, my professionalism. I try to say, oh crap, I did great there, didn't do great at other places. So this is a small presentation I put together when a lot of times folks say, hey, tell us about yourself. I don't really want to talk a whole lot about me. I'd rather talk about the companies and how we came about, a little bit of the origin story, and then what's important to us and why it should be important to you as a consumer. So we'll talk a little bit about this, but this is our principals group. Now, as you can see here, this is, we're about 5 people short on this slide, but the right side of this is the front runner team. And we have 4 agents in training now, and Dave is one of our front runners. And then on the left side is our mortgage team, and that is White Oak Mortgage. And you'll see a lot of our folks out networking. Sabrina, you'll see less. She's our E-Town specialist. But to give you a little background on me, I've been in real estate since 2015. Prior to that, I was in sales for CarMax. I was a regional sales trainer for them, President's Club sales level, helped build some national training programs that rolled out. Before that, I was a firefighter EMT, and that's where I got to meet Dave. Dave was one of my first paramedic supervisors. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is we do a lot for veterans, police, fire, EMS, and folks who are first responders. That's kind of our niche, and that's something that we're really proud of. But we're licensed Kentucky and Indiana. I'm the managing partner for White Oak. I'm the principal broker for Front Runner. 2023 made top 20 people to know in real estate. 2025 just won the Spirit Award from Middletown Chamber. Got the key to the city in Middletown in 2022. I was the previous managing director at Custom Select Realty, which now we employ on the mortgage side the new director of Custom Select Realty, Keith Crecilius, which is a kind of a thing that makes me really happy. I get to work with my friends in real estate and mortgages too. Past president of the Middletown Networking Group, past president of Property Solutions Louisville, been the HOA president in 2 different larger neighborhoods. And I'm a senior relocations specialist, real estate negotiation expert, accredited buyer's representative, and a military veterans housing coordinator. So if you're a senior, if you're a first-time home buyer, if you've been in the military, we have special expertise to help you in your process. So there's 2 things that we really hang our hat on for both companies. And being the director or the principal broker of 2 companies, I kind of get to say, hey, there's similar things I want to see between both companies. And if you're going to break it down, there's really 2. I want you to have the best-in-class experience when you work with us. I want you to have the best experience you could ever have in mortgages or real estate with my companies. And if you don't, I want to know about it because there's something we need to fix, okay? And then absolute real estate and mortgage expertise. Just because you have a license, you can call yourself an expert. Now, are you really an expert? No, right? I think we've all seen a lot of people who can have a designation or have a license, but they don't have the expertise to back it up. We want our people to be educated, we train consistently, and we have some rules, and this is where we're going to get into the partnership and the principles for the team that we kind of operate on and how it's made us successful. So at Front Runner, where'd my slide go? I don't know if it's just not loading or what, but we did $15 million in volume last year, 5-star Google reviews out of 19 reviews in the last 12 months, and 60 transactions, which puts us in the top 17% of all mortgage brokerages in the Greater Louisville Association. And then at White Oak, what we're looking for, and I don't know why that's not coming up, we're looking for 100% pre-approvals to closing. If we write a pre-approval, it should get to closing. If it does not get to closing, I want to know why. Now, for the last 17 months, we've not missed one. If we issue you a pre-approval, literally take it to the bank or go to the closing table with it. And that's including, it's nice that I think our internet's a little slow. Yeah, well, hopefully the next slides load. If not, I'll switch to my hotspot and hopefully that works. But we're on 100% pre-approvals. We want to be one of the fastest mortgage brokerages in the state, so 17 days on average for our pre-approvals, and also 5-star Google reviews. We have not missed a single deal, even if an appraiser tried to blow us up, nothing. And if anybody knows, and I know Dave knows, reconsiderations of value and challenging an appraiser is something that is not easy. And we win those because you have 2 principal brokers working together to make sure that you get to closing. So when we talk about principals, The first principle that we really want to hit on for everybody is meaningful work and meaningful relationships. In our brokerage, we're like a big family. We actually call them teams. Everybody's on a group thread, and we razz each other when we need to. We celebrate when we need to. We're always trying to promote and pat somebody on the back. And if you did something great, we want to tell you, and we want the team to celebrate. And it's really a big family, and it's wonderful because I don't want to work with anybody I don't like, right? So if you're nasty, if you're rude, if you're a diva, if you backbite, if you're going to gossip, we just kick you out. It's real simple. We don't have those people on our team. We don't allow it in our culture because the culture is very important to us. So meaningful work and meaningful relationships, that's from one of my heroes, Ray Dalio from Bridgewater Capital. This is the second principle. For any of us to eat, someone has to sell. It's very challenging to be in a real estate or in any business and not have a sales background, not have the ability to sell, not want to sell. If you don't want to sell in our businesses, you're in the wrong business. Because being a mortgage broker is a lot more about getting clients and building great relationships than it is about sitting behind a computer and transferring files up to a third-party lender, doing debt-to-income ratio calculations. That's not what it's about. It's about building relationships and making it happen for the client. So sell is one of the big principles for us. Behave. This one right now goes mainly to Facebook, Instagram, TikToks. It's very politically charged. We don't talk about politics. We don't put it out there because I'm going to do a loan for a Republican just like I'm going to do a loan for a Democrat, right? It doesn't matter. What I care about is you making sure that you're in the best position possible when you work with us and that we keep our reputation clean. And next. It's a lot easier if you're good at what you do. This is Charlie Munger, Howard Marks. The world always makes room for those who do things demonstrably better. If you're better than the competition, you will have business. And it's not as hard to get. If you're not as good as others, it's going to be a whole lot harder. So that's one reason we lean on the expertise part of our business. We want to excel in everything, including sales, but mainly being good at our job. Prudence. If you go through this list of people, this is Keith. He's the director of Custom Select Realty. He's been a realtor as long as I have, since 2015. Michael Forrest, previous financial advisor, went to the Kellogg School of Business at Northwestern, got his MBA there, and also got his bachelor's from the Kelly School of Business at IU. Allison's the best processor you've ever met in your entire life, the smartest processor I've ever seen. Our 17 days clear to close is because of Allison. Jefferson is our principal broker at White Oak. And the guy's exceptional. I would say he's the best mortgage broker in the city. Sorry, Dave. I'm proud of you. You know Jefferson. Jeremy Kuntz was my first paramedic supervisor. He ran Louisville Metro EMS. And I worked with him in the West End for years. Incredible person. Sabrina Allen, go-getter, 3 kids, single mom, still 2 years in a row, the #1 agent at Front Runner Real Estate. Her never quit is strong. She got a strong motor. Oh my God, they're incredible. The girl's just crazy good. Justin Hunsucker loves the investment world, huge in investment, Kentucky Real Estate Investors Association member. Dave Martin, one of our newest agents, who is a longtime friend of mine, 20 years in medicine, now doing real estate. And Allison Perry, our second newest agent. Just getting her feet wet, but very, very good. Now, prudence, this is the Jamie Dimon quote. It's not our job to make the best decision. And this is something that a lot of people don't quite get about company cultures. Our job is to make sure the best decision is being made. So that means partner. If you don't know the answer, don't fluff it, don't bluff, don't try to hope it gets okay and do something and we'll clean up the mess on the back end. No, we're going to solve the problem proactively on the front end by partnering with people. I have at my disposal, just on my team, some of the best real estate and mortgage professionals in the area. And I'm lucky to have them. But if I don't know the answer and they don't know the answer, I know the people who do, and we're going to partner because we have to be prudent with other people's money and with other people's time and with their experience. Our job's not to make the best decision singularly, it's to make the best decision as a collective. So if you don't know the answer, partner. Call me, and if you guys know me, my phone never stops ringing because of that. And then avoid the losers. And we mean this in a few ways. If we don't feel like you're going to be a good fit for the team, if you're not going to be great for your client, If it's not the right product for somebody, we're going to avoid those products, those people, and those experiences. We're not going to give anybody the opportunity, and this is the goal, to have a bad experience with FrontRunner or with White Oak. And that's one reason we don't issue some pre-approvals. There are other people who will say, yeah, we'll get you to closing. Good luck. Realtor spends 3 months trying to find a property, get to the closing table, deal blows up. Doesn't get closed. It happens a lot. We avoid those deals. I would rather let someone else risk their reputation on a deal. We won't do it. So if we're not 100% confident we're going to get you to closing, we don't issue it. We'll recommend you go someplace else. And guys, that's it for my small presentation on our companies. And no, that's it actually. Yeah. Bazinga. Yeah.
Do you have like a questionnaire, I guess, of how to like tell signs that somebody might not make it to closing that you guys do? Or you just kind of like internally know?
So that's a great question, and there's a couple answers to it. The first one, a lot of mortgage brokers are going to say, hey, what's your credit score? And you go, I don't know, 760. They go, okay, you'll be fine. Here's your pre-approval. What we're going to do is we're going to pull your credit. We're going to look at your income statements. We're going to look at your bank statements, and we're going to do the pre-underwriting up front. So that way we don't get surprised. Now, even there in that process, there are some things that will pop up. For example, last month, we had a man who had just had a baby about 8 months ago and took 1 month unpaid paternity. Okay. Now, he didn't lose his job. If you ask him for gaps in employment, he didn't have one, but he had a gap in income, right? And that changed all about your debt to income ratio when you have to divide out your income by 11 months instead of 12, okay? So those things do pop up, but we figure out creative solutions to fix them. So it's, to your question, what are we doing up front? We're doing all the legwork that we would do during the process up front to make sure that there is no surprises or minimize as many surprises as possible. And very often people don't even know what the credit score is. It's not, it's just not something you think about every day. Any other questions? Say what?
I think about my credit score.
Do you? Well, there's, typically what we find, if somebody says they've got 800, they got like a 540. And if they think they got a 540, they have a 780. We just kind of have to go, okay, well, thank you for telling me that. We're going to still go ahead and pull credit because I'm not going to issue you pre-approval without taking a look at your profile.
Is there really mortgage companies that issue pre-approval without line credit?
The reason I started White Oak Mortgage is because I had 3 deals from one mortgage brokerage not get to closing in the same month. It wasn't David. It wasn't David. It was painful because I've got 2 or 3 realtors. Actually, it was 2 realtors with 3 transactions in the same month, and one realtor probably combined 40, 50 hours with somebody. Their stuff was in a van, a moving van, and the deal fell through. So now they're homeless. Their stuff's in a U-Haul. My realtor has spent a month, 2 months, 3 months working with these people. That changes your whole life. If you don't get to closing, you're out $1,500 on inspections, everything. I mean, all the time. It is a terrible thing to do to somebody, and it happens a lot. We have a problem in our industry is we had a huge influx of mortgage brokers during the refinance boom when rates dropped during COVID. Well, a refinance is a lot different than a purchase. They're 2 different types of transactions. On the outside, it looks similar. A refinance doesn't go through, it's no big deal, right? Somebody still got their house, they still got their mortgage, they're not getting kicked out. A purchase doesn't go through, much different. So we started White Oak in response to the lack of professionalism in the industry. Yeah, because I see it on both sides. I get the real estate side of it and the mortgage broker side because I was a mortgage broker and am a realtor.
Wow. There are some mortgage companies that build their business on a model of pre-approve everybody.
Yeah.
And see what sticks. And their pull-through rates are less than 40% sometimes.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Which is terrible for the customer. They're doing so much volume, they're cherry picking the easy ones, and they're letting the other ones fall by the wayside. And they really don't care if they make it or not.
Yeah. Whereas with us, what I want is, page 2, line 66 of our residential sales contract is a blank space where you fill out your mortgage broker. It's part of your contract for real estate. There are mortgage brokers I see and I go, I'm not accepting your contract. Thank you, I'll wait. Because I would rather not go under contract with a mortgage broker I know has a probability that's pretty high of not getting to closing, Or I'll counter them on the contract and I'll say, here's a list of mortgage brokers. You don't have to use me. Use anybody. Use anybody else but this person or this brand. Because I'm not going to let my clients go under contract, waste 30 to 45 days of their marketing time, during peak selling season on a risk that you can't get to closing. So when they see White Oak there, I want everybody to go, oh, thank God. It's White Oak, I don't have to worry about it. And that's what realtors need to know about White Oak Mortgage. Yeah. Any other questions? That's a good point, Dave.
I do. I have a question.
Mhm.
So, you said you're doing a lot of the pre-underwriting up front,
Mhm.
which has got to be, costing you all quite a bit to put all that manpower up front. So, I mean, how are you balancing? Like, when do you know? Like, is there a way that you know, like, early on, like, don't go through the pre-underwriting, or like you get through the pre, like, you see what I'm saying there? Like, it feels like you're doing it to save on the back end, but you could potentially be spending a lot of man hours and time and money on the front end for stuff that doesn't come through.
Absolutely. Typically, when people commit to sending us their documents, they're going to be working with us. Okay, so we're not going to lose it to a different mortgage broker. Our service is better, and people appreciate that. It's a lot easier to spend 5 hours going through a file on the front end than to spend 30 days trying to make a file work. So the gap, the real difficult part is, do you have the expertise to know what you're looking at when you see the file and see where a deal will fall apart? So what we're actually building internally is a closed AI system that has Jefferson's brain and my brain, all the underwriting guidelines for our 15 different banks that we write loans through, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and all the overlays from each one of our lenders. And we're going to put all the information into an AI system and have it pre-underwrite the file based on the way that we want to look at the file. And then it will prompt, hey, here's a problem, here's a problem, here's a problem. Let's solve these issues before we issue the pre-approval. And so that's actually something we're building right now. Because the labor is intense, but it's less labor than trying to fix a problem. And it's, you don't get the black eye in public. We keep our 100% 5-star Google reviews. Yeah. Amen. Every time. Because especially in our business,
It's the only way to do business right.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I've been in the mortgage industry as well for over a decade.
Yeah.
That's how I built my reputation.
Yep.
I know for a fact there are people that got their contract accepted because they were working for me.
Yep.
The real estate agent told me that at the closing.
Yep.
So,
And our industry, anybody who works knows each other. There's 6,500 realtors in the city of Louisville, greater Louisville area. There's another 1,000, I think, in Louisville, or excuse me, in southern Indiana, in Sierra. In Louisville, only 1,000 do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You thought you were competitive enough trying to close your space. He's over here freaking out about those numbers.
Yeah, 6,500 agents. If you did 10 or more, there's only 1,100 people, 1,100 agents out of 6,500 that did 10 or more transactions. And for us, at 60 transactions in our first year for Front Runner, that put us at number 114 out of 650 different brokerages. So there's a lot of people with a license, kind of like going back to you can be licensed but not be an expert. If you do one deal a year or don't do any deals a year, you're not an expert. And I certainly don't want to trust you with my real estate transaction.
Why
You
do
know?
you even think 10 deals a year for one realtor is not very good? That's
No, it's not.
expertise.
No, and if you're at the right brokerage, 10 deals a year could be a good living, but even, and Dave knows this because I've told him, I think 50 to 100 transactions is really where you start to get to be expert level. And that's why we have a team where a lot of brokerages is independent, you're on your own, don't call me. That's not how we work. Call me for everything. If you have a question, I need to know what your question is because it's a training gap. And if I don't remedy the gap, it's going to show up again, and potentially I can't solve the problem before it turns ugly next time. So we are hardcore about partner, because if you've done 10, 15, 20, 30 transactions, there's a lot of gaps that you still have.
so there's 650 brokerages in
642, yeah,
just in Louisville.
yeah. That have a transaction,
I'm never getting into it.
that have it. But you know what? If you work, it's actually really simple because most agents don't work. If they worked, they'd have business,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like anything. Any of our businesses are competitive. I would not want to be a financial advisor. So, like you're a small business. We're in the thick of it, right? Every day we're striving to be as good as we can possibly be for every one of our clients and have a reputation that precedes us. Because in our town, Louisville, Southern Indiana, everybody knows you before you walk in the door. I know a lot of agents I've never spoke to because I know their reputation, right? So you got to protect it. Anything else, guys?
Fantastic.
So thank you all for the opportunity.
All right, and then we are gonna start with Samantha for our 60-second commercials, and then also, if you can throw in a goal that you have set for your business for 2026, go ahead and share that as well.